Inventory management systems are probably the most important system that you have in a business. This applies to sort of any industry, but in the food industry in particular, it's so important to know what it is that you're buying, why are you buying it, how much of it you go through, how much of it is being wasted. And you can track all those things by building a really good inventory management system. Richard Branson says in his book, Business Stripped Bare, which I skimmed once upon a time, a long time ago, that if you give him a few weeks, he can sort of figure out how every business works. And at the end of the day, most industries just create a bunch of jargon to make you feel like you don't understand how to do something that they understand. Inventory management systems are like this. People try to sort of confuse you or make it feel like they understand something you don't understand. Culinary schools teach inventory management, but the reality is inventory management boils down to how much stuff did you buy, how much of it went out of sales, how much of it is left. That's an equation that should equal out, right? The amount of stuff that you bought minus the amount of stuff that you sold should equal the amount of stuff that you have. Well, then there's other things you have to account for. So you have to account for how much of it got wasted, right? How much of it got spilled or went bad or was eaten by yourself or your staff. So those are things that you then track. And ultimately you can build out this system that tells you the sort of difference between the theoretical cost you have. You sat down and on the back of a napkin, you wrote down like, chicken costs me X amount, paprika costs me a certain amount. So if I make chicken with paprika, it's going to cost me this amount and I sell it for this amount. So therefore I should have this amount left. Well, those numbers don't work out exactly. And so you track them over time in a simple spreadsheet. You can use QuickBooks. You can use sort of any inventory management system that's on the market. The truth is it's really going to come down to your ability to stay on top of it. You got to be counting your stuff. And really, the best way to implement an inventory management system is to start really, really tight. So count your stuff at least at the beginning and end of the day at the beginning and sort of start to correlate that against your sales. And then over time, as you prove to yourself that your inventory is pretty consistent, you can start to relax like how often is it you count. But you can't relax your counts. You can't ballpark and rough cut stuff. Really like when you do any kind of margin, any kind of volume, you start to see these little things turn into very big things. You're rounding 70 cents to $1 or rounding 70 cents down to 50 cents, and then over volume, your numbers are massively off. So you do have to be pretty tight on your actual counts, but you can start to relax how often you count them. But inventory management is the best way and really the only way to make money in the food industry. You have to know how much of stuff you're buying and what's that turning into. You might be selling something right now that doesn't make sense for you to sell, either because A, you don't sell enough of it, so it's costing you too much and it's going bad while you own it, or you sell a lot of it and it's not really a profitable item, in which case like you need to sort of evaluate that differently. You won't know those things unless you're tracking them exactly. So inventory management is sort of the biggest thing that a business owner can be doing in the food industry to make sure that they take a business that sells food for money and makes it profitable.